to talk about a particular photo that was released a while back with all the photos that came out from the filming of the production of the movie. But I like this photo because it has something in it that gives you a clue that takes you of somewhat of the path already. We know that Godzilla is going to show up in Hawaii, and first appearance probably at 9 will be in Waikiki Beach in Hawaii. And where is he heading next? Well, based on the information, we know that it's going to be somewhere in California, but I want to pinpoint exactly why, I want to talk about why it's going to happen this way because I found some information which is very interesting. I think it's interesting and it's relevant to the story. And I'm going to talk about the photo. The photo is the photo that you see that there's a table, there's a phones, and there's some top secret documents or confidential documents from the United States Department of Defense on that table, and there's a map. And that's what I want to talk about. That map and that if you look at the map, it says Main Top Bay, and I want to talk about that because that is something very significant that I just realized from doing my research on it. Because I was going to do it earlier, but life, I work, so but now I have the moment to do it. So I am putting this video together to talk about it. So interesting enough, if you look at the photo, if you do, well, you're gonna see it anyway on screen, and then you'll follow me. The photo shows a map on the left hand side of the photo from that's talking about something called Main Top Bay. Well, I did some research on that, and it turns out that Main Top Bay is actually part of several islands, which is actually the Farallon Islands, or the Farallones in Spanish, by the Spanish who named it. And the island is the area is actually a group of islands and sea stacks in the Gulf of the Farallones of the coast of San Francisco, California, which is the San Francisco Bay that's there. They lie like 30 miles away. And on this island, there's actually a research facility called PRVO for its initials. And the PRVO, the initials mean Point Blue Conservation Science, and it was founded as a Point Raised Bird Observatory. Is a California-based wildlife conservation and research nonprofit organization. The research is maintained year-round on the island since 1969. Now, that's not the interesting part about this. The interesting part about this is it's really fascinating, and it surprised me to see this because I didn't know this. I had no idea, but I'm seeing the pattern that when they created Godzilla, the production company and the director and everybody involved to create the film and the writers, they did a great job, giving. If the story plays out the right way, this is going to be amazing. This is going to be an interesting story because they researched. You could tell that they researched their areas that they were going to do they were going to film, and the reasons why they're filming this. Right, and this is the path of Godzilla. This is path number 2. This is, I think, the second spot, and it's not a guess. Probably it will be in California. There's already a lot of stuff on that. This is the next step from Hawaii to California, and wouldn't be surprised in San Francisco Bay. But the interesting thing about this is that these islands were actually from 1946 to 1970. These islands were a nuclear waste dump, which it's crazy to think about that. And the information says that from 1946 to 1970. The sea around the Farallones was used as a nuclear dumping site for radioactive waste. Under the authority of the Atomic Energy Commission, at a site known as the Farallon Island Nuclear Waste Dump. Most of the dump took place before the 1960, and all the dumping of radioactivity and waste by the United States was terminated in 1970. By then, there was 47,500.55 gallon, .55 gallon steel drum containers have been dumped in the vicinity, with a total estimated radioactivity of 14,500 CI, which is the CI means, for those of you that don't know the terminology, excuse me, it's the Curie level. In other words, the Curie symbol is a non SI unit of radioactivity named after Marie and Pierre Curie, and it's just the way to measure the level of radioactivity. For example, one CI equals 3.5 times 10 times the 10th power decays per second. In other words, that's the level of radioactivity that was being sent out into, if you were there, that's how much you would be getting, depending how long you would stay there, and naturally radioactivity is dangerous. But like I said, that I'm going into another area. But the reason why I want to say this is because it's interesting, because if we know that Godzilla is something happens that Godzilla is born, and just like the original film, nuclear explosion is probably the reason. But I find it's interesting that they used this place, this area, and as I'm talking, you're gonna see I got some images, satellite images, and you'll see it as I talk through. Um, it's an interesting point because it would be the perfect spot for Godzilla to show up second after doing whatever he's gonna do in Hawaii, and maybe it's because of this radioactivity that he's attracted to this area, and maybe that's why he reaches the San Francisco Bay, and with whatever is gonna happen there, he causes havoc or whatever. But I just think this is so interesting that they use this actual area that is synonymous with nuclear waste dumping as the next possible place where Godzilla's going to land in the movie. So I just want to point that out. I thought it was interesting, and trying to give you guys more info and ideas of the story. This is fascinating, and I think that based on this and the other things that I've seen, I mean, this movie's going to be incredible. I get more excited every time I find something new or I see something new. And I know some people probably talked about this, but I don't think nobody's talked about it in detail like this. So you can look it up. The island is part of the Farallon Islands, and you can see that the island itself, with the bay, in terms of the area that's called the main top bay, is actually part of those islands. And one of the islands, it's separated. The group one is main top. So I'm thinking that this might be the reason or the place where he's going to show up next before he sets out to do havoc in the San Francisco Bay Area. And from there on, he's saying, who knows exactly where. There's not even, we know that they filmed in Canada, but I think that those filming in Canada, they try to make the area look like it was San Francisco. Maybe I don't know exactly. Who knows? But I just want to point that out again. And thanks for watching. This is Damien from University.